What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's a great day today, nice and sunny. Perfect day to go out and metal detect, but unfortunately we can't. So I'm back in my backyard, and I'm going to show and share my settings for using four tone on the Macro Anfibio. So yeah, when I use them, how I set up my machine, and I hope you guys can use it too. So let's get right into it. Okay, guys, so before we jump into my settings and how I set up my four tone mode, just how I use my machine. So I've got two or three go-to modes that I use. Most days I use them together in the same day. As I hunt, I jump between settings and modes just to give me a better idea on the targets that I'm going for and what I'm looking for. So four tone mode, I generally use when I do relic hunting. So I do a lot of relic hunting, new sites and park hunts. If it's a little bit trashy or there's a lot more targets and iron, I go between three and four tone. So just because three tone is a bit less chirpy than four tone, but four tone does go a lot deeper than three tone, but it can get a little bit annoying with the noise. So I want to show you guys how I set up my four tone, where I use it and how I use it, and then I want to show and explain to you guys how I get rid of that chattiness and that noise and why we hear that. So yeah, let me turn on my machine and we go through my settings. Right, guys, so I've got my machine on. I've ground balanced, and at the moment I'm in three tone, and I just want to quickly show you, and I've gone through my settings on three tone before, but I'm going to go through that now again. And we at gain 90, 94, disc at 14, notch 15, notch volume 0, tone. So I want to show you, and this is going to be the first tip, and I just want to explain on why I do that. But if you look at where my tones are, so my tones at 15, 40 and 70, right? And then tone volume is at 5, tone break is at 25 and at 60. So I want to show you, and I got this tip from someone else, and I started using it, and it just completely makes sense. How I set up my four tone, I actually set up my four tone on the tones, my tone and tone breaks. I set up exactly the same as I do my three tone. Why do I do that? Because I use three tone a lot, and if I switch between three tone and four tone, I now don't have to get used to different tones or different tone breaks for different target IDs. So my three and my four tone sound exactly the same, but I'm getting more depth on my four tone setting or four tone mode. So you can hear it's a bit chirpy. Four tone is a lot more chirpier than three tone. Unfortunately, you don't have any threshold on the discrimination modes, but there's other ways that we can sort out the chirpiness. So even while I'm standing here, it is making a bit of a noise, but my gain is at 94. So let me go through my settings. You saw my settings on three tone. Let me go through the settings quickly on four tone. So by default, my gain is always at 94. That's where I use it. It works. Normally the places that I'm hunting, like I said, relic hunting, I can leave my four tone setting or mode at 94 gain without an issue. And if there's a lot of iron or there's a lot of interference, I start backing down on my gain and use a few other settings to calm down the machine. So okay, my gain is at 94, discrimination is at 14, notch at 15 is the same, notch volume is at 0. My tone, so my tone, you can see here, Z1 is at 15, then 40, just like three tone, then Z3 is also at 40, and Z4 is at 70. So exactly the same as I have with my three tone, 15, 40 and 70. On four tone, I do exactly the same. So 15, then Z2 and Z3 I leave at 40, and Z4 I leave at 70. So I'll have the same exact tones and tone breaks with the same targets and target IDs as I have with my three tone, but I get better performance out of the four tone mode. So it works really well. I advise you guys to give it a try and let me know how that goes. So okay, there we've got our tones. Tone volume is at full 5. Tone break the same as my 3 tones. So I have 25, 60, and my Z3 I just put at 61, just to give that little bit boost on those higher tones, right? And then my ISAT is at 0. Okay, so if you don't know what ISAT is for, ISAT you can use to calm down the noise, calm down some interference with your machine like we're experiencing now. But because my gain is so high, always try and use your gain rather than pushing up your ISAT. So if you go up your gain, and we'll test some targets with my test box, and I'll show you guys some interesting facts when changing settings on your machine. So let's go to our gain first, just to calm down this machine. Let's go down to about 85. So you can hear that immediately starts sorting out some of that hectic chattiness. And on this setting, we'll test some targets with the test bed so you can see that we're still getting that depth. So let's actually pop a coin into my test bed, and I'll show you. Okay guys, I'm going to take this little copper coin and I'm going to put it in at 20 centimeters, show you my settings and see if it picks it up. Okay, gain 85. Let's have a look quick. Picks it up nicely. Actually raising my coil another 5-6 centimeters. So still at 85 gain, you're still picking up that small little copper coin quite deep. I would say at least 25-26 centimeters. Okay guys, so if you're still annoyed with the little bit of chattiness that the 4-tone mode will have, you can lower your gain even more. Let's lower our gain to about, let's say 79 or 78. I would always recommend that you start by lowering your gain. Again, use your test box. Make sure that you're still getting the depth at those gain settings for the items that you're looking for. If you are and you're still getting that noise, let's say you're also in an area where there's quite a few hot rocks, or you're in mineralized soil, I would then suggest you go over and you start using your ISAT. Okay, you have to keep in mind when you start using your ISAT setting, it does affect the depth of your machine. So I would always say and recommend that you never go above ISAT setting at 5, just to eliminate some of those false signals. I have been in places where I use 4-tone and I do pick up a lot of false signals that can get a bit annoying. But at ISAT 5 and at gain, where we are now, 78. It's fairly manageable. It's quiet. So let's see how this machine reacts at a 78 gain with the ISAT set at 5 in our test bed. Okay guys, so let's check the performance quickly on the same copper at 20 centimeters. So we are at 78 gain, and ISAT, I'm at 5. So still picking it up strong. I say by lifting up my coil, I think we've maybe lost 1.5, maybe 2 centimeters with those settings. So if I reduce the ISAT and leave my gain at 78, so 78 there, ISAT at 0, let's see if we can regain those 2 centimeters that way. Yeah, so we can definitely still hear the target about 5 centimeters above the ground. So ISAT definitely does affect your performance of the machine. So again, if the chattiness of 4-tone annoys you, start by dropping the gain. We can drop the gain even more here. Let's go down to 70. So at 70 gain, you can hear the chattiness is pretty much gone. We're hearing it strong, that copper coin at 20 centimeters. So let me show you as well while I'm at the test bed. If I jump between 3-tone and 4-tone, so listen to my target ID at 3-tone, jump to 4-tone, exactly the same. So 3-tone, my gain is at 94. If I drop my gain on 3-tone to 70, just like we have on 4-tone, have a look at the difference. So 3-tone, that coin is gone. 4-tone, at 70, and we're about at 21, 22 centimeters over there. So sacrificing and having that bit of chattiness definitely affects the machine. 3-tone, if we push up, let's see where we have to be able to pick up that coin. Wow, a little bit of a chirp at 89. So only at 90 gain on 3-tone, we actually start picking up that coin at 20 centimeters. So yeah, 4-tone, gain 70, definitely makes a big difference. So pumping up that gain to 94, let's do that now. You can hear a little bit more chatty, so it is at 94 gain, which is a lot. That's almost 10 centimeters. So a big depth difference. So lower that gain, you're going to get a lot of depth. I would say 80 or below. 78 is still fine to get rid of that chattiness. And if you're picking up a lot of false signals on 4-tone mode, then just pump up your ISAT. So we saw that at ISAT setting 5, you're losing about 1 centimeter or maybe 2 centimeters at most. So yeah, I hope that helps, guys. That's how I set up my 4-tone mode. It's a really good mode. I would suggest not using it in an area where there's a lot of trash or where there's a lot of iron all around you. That's just gonna drive you nuts. It's gonna drive you nuts. In those situations, I go to 3-tone mode. And when I hit an area where I'm targeting relics and there aren't a lot of targets around me, a lot of iron and trash, I shoot down to 4-tone and I deal with a little bit of chattiness, but I get the extra depth. So yeah, guys, if you like this video, enjoy the settings, please let me know. Please give us a thumbs up on this video, and if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take it easy.